Some say that this is the most disappointing flagship supercar from Lego. Some say that this Ferrari is the new height for 1/8 scale supercar set. So, how does this Lego Ferrari Daytona really perform? And as we've seen from other reviews, what's the transmission problem and the missing steps all about? Let's take a deep dive together and find out. Let's check out the packaging first. Unlike the previous 1/8 scale supercars, this Ferrari has a newly designed garage-style packaging solution. The main color theme is red and black, and there are renders of this Ferrari on both front and back. When the building is finished, this box can be used as a display box like a garage. Open the packaging, there are 3 separate boxes, implemented with the rear profile and design elements of the Ferrari Daytona SP3. There are 2 manuals in the first box. 3,778 pieces are separated in 31 bags and 7 large steps. The brand new wheels are placed on cardboard pallets, and there's a unique display plaque for this set. The 2 manuals are very thick, and there are 1,267 steps in total. Inside, there are 30 pages dedicated to show Ferrari's history, the designing process of this set, as well as the thoughts put into the new parts. What's more, there are some beautiful profile pics of this Ferrari. Once again, we gotta give Lego credit for the great packaging and PR material. Alright, now let's begin to build it. At step 88, we can see where the transmission problem is. Here we need to insert this bright green part, number 60483, towards the 7.5 clock position. On Lego's manual, the gear selectors are placed like this as shown here. However, the correct step is to move the 2 gear selectors to the shown position. Then we put in the green 60483. Or the shifting sequence will be messed up. We will explain this issue using 3D modeling later. Now let's move on. Here we can see another error on the manual. The cross and check marks in step 104 on the diagram are in the wrong place. But this problem can be easily avoided because the next diagram is showing the same parts in the correct way. Now we can see a pile of new parts. First, there are new wheels. The surface has a barrel-plated silver finish, which provides a smooth matte metallic texture. When building it, you need to pay attention to the direction of the wheels. The new shock we previously seen on the BMW M1000RR motorcycle are also in this Ferrari set, but this time the spring is painted in red instead of blue. After testing, we found out that the spring force is 3 kilograms. The new 3x19 frame that's previously on the McLaren F1 car also seen applications in this set. Beside, the new 20 teeth and 12 teeth spur gears from the 42140 set are also here in this Ferrari. Unlike the old double-side bevel gears, their gear mesh will be more solid and stable. Now we come to the highlights of the new parts in this set. Brand new 22 teeth and 14 teeth bevel gears. Comparing to the old gears, the tooth pitch and tooth thickness are both enlarged. So their gear mesh is much more stable in the new differential, which significantly reduces the risk of gear slipping, meanwhile offering a new 22:14 gear ratio. Here we can see the rear suspension of this car. New shocks can be seen here, and the springs are quite strong. Next, we can see the shifting mechanism behind the steering wheel, which is basically the same as the one on the Lego Lamborghini Sian. Here we can see a very interesting design. The ball joint here will later be pulled by a rubber band toward that direction, in order to increase the elasticity of this mechanism. As we can see, if there's no rubber band here, the shifting mechanism will sometimes malfunction. By adding elasticity to that cross-axle, the whole mechanism will work more reliably. Here we can see the steering system. The steering input will be sent to the 20-12 gear set here through the cross-axle behind the steering wheel, and 2 universal joints, which drives gear rack here via 12-teeth gear. The whole system is fairly simple and reliable, but you do need to pay attention here. When the wheel is centered, the cross-axle must also be centered. Now let's test the drivetrain. Here we send power directly into the engine, which also moves the transmission. During the test, due to the high torque output in some gears, a part got twisted. After fixing that issue, some gears still can't function properly. We will analyze how the transmission works and all the gear ratios later using 3D modeling. Here we can see another design flaw. In the gear selecting mechanism, which controls the drive, neutral and reverse, there's a 16-teeth gear at the rear that controls the car to move forward, and another 16-teeth gear at the front to control the car to reverse. When going through the gears, there's a 3L axle with stop here which will get loose and eventually fall off. And it's a very painful process to put it back. So technically we need to do something here to limit the movement of that axle. But Lego didn't do any of that design here. Here we can see the door opening mechanism, which is very similar to the one on the Lambo Sion. There's a new triangle Technic panel in this set, and a new 1L2x5 Technic panel. Then there's a painted gauge cluster, and a panel with Ferrari logo on it. Now we can see the new 3x2x5 Technic panel, which is widely used in this set. Worth mentioning, having this new part also makes this 3L smooth pin can be more commonly used. Next we can see another brand new parallelogram Technic panel. Then there's also a new panel for the wheel arch. Let's keep going. After 16 hours, we finally finished this Ferrari Daytona. Like other YouTubers, we also found these two extra pieces. They should be put on these two exposed axles at the rear bottom of the car. Alright, let's check out the exterior first. As we can see that this Ferrari Daytona is largely covered by panels, there's barely any incomplete surfaces. Beside the blue seats, which is the same color as the real car. The whole color theme here is red and black, also just like the real car. As for the details, the front end of the car very well replicated the shape and curve of the real car. The multi-layer wind blade, LED DRL are also accurately presented here. On the side of the car, not only are the intake vents replicated, the car body line which tightens here is also identical to the real car. At the rear, the curve above the rear wheel arch, vents on the engine cover, transparent glass window, and the fixed ducktail spoiler are all well replicated. Worth mentioning that Daytona SP3's signature multi-layer blades design at the rear are accurately replicated, with tons of brick pieces. As for the wheel, of course the new parts also look just like the ones on the real car. Now let's see the functions. First, we can see the whole suspension will longer fail to rebound like some other 1:8 scale supercars because now we have new shocks. The steering system also works perfectly well. Open the engine cover, we can see the mighty V12 doing its work. Press these two parts, we can open the two butterfly doors on both sides, which also function perfectly during the test. The front trunk can also be opened and there's a strut holding it up. There's a large space here but no suitcase, which is standard in other 1:8 scale supercars. The roof of the car can be removed just like the real car, which easily turns this car from a coupe into a Targa. For now, of course you can only move it by yourself, but we believe some builders will get it motorized soon. Next, let's see what's exactly wrong with the transmission of this car. Using 3D modeling, let's analyze the gear ratio in each gear. First, we can see that the power from the V12 goes into the transmission through a set of 20 to 12, and a set of 20 to 16 gears. We can see the transmission as two separate shifting modules. When the module on the left shifts 4 times, the right side module will shift 1 time. So in those 8 gears, The power will eventually be sent to a set of 20 to 12 and a set of 12 to 20 gears at the rear. And there's a set of 22 to 14 gears in the differential. Finally, after careful calculations, if we build it according to Lego's manual, the ratios for 1 to 8 gears are 1.47, 1.18, 0.94, 1.96, 4.09, 3.27, 2.62, 5.46. So the gear sequence it's completely messed up. After fixing this issue, by putting the bulge on the two gear selectors facing the rear of the car before putting on the green part number 60483, at step 88, the ratios for the 8 gears are 5.46, 4.09, 3.27, 2.62, 1.96, 1.47, 1.18, 0.94, which means the gear sequence is now correct. The link to the transmission's I/O diagram is in the comment section. You can download and study it if you are interested. Now, let's do the summary. The biggest highlight of this Ferrari is the number of new parts. Especially there are 6 new Technic panels that are never seen before. What's more, the 2 new Technic panels which come from the McLaren F1 car released not long ago are also used in this set. So in total, Lego released 8 brand new Technic parts in just 6 months. These brand new panels greatly make up for some shapes that weren't easy to build, which gives builders more room when designing the exterior of a set. So accordingly, we can see that the 42143 set looks very well finished next to the real car. Unlike the Lamborghini Sian and Bugatti Chiron, which both have large areas of incomplete surfaces, the multi-layer blade at both front and rear of the Ferrari Daytona SP3 are very well replicated using large amount of bricks, which makes this set contain the largest amount of bricks among all the 1 to 8 scale supercars. As for other parts, the 22 teeth and 14 teeth gears with greater tooth pitch and tooth thickness for the new differential not only made the whole diff work more reliably, but also offered a new 22 to 14 gear ratio. Meanwhile, this Ferrari is also the first supercar with the new firm shock. Having this new shock with a spring that's over 3 kilograms makes 1 to 8 large-scale supercar like this no longer suffer from the lack of suspension rebound issue like previous models. The second highlight is that you can feel the great effort they put into the design of packaging and manual, as well as their phenomenal ability in graphic design, promotion of brand and culture. We also felt Lego's strong PR ability through the hype they created before their new product launch. Since the beginning of this year, we have been seeing leaked spy photos online and hearing all kinds of rumors here and there, then come to the official announcement 1 week before the product release, and all the major reviewers posted their articles or videos within 1 hour right after it. Each intentional or seen unintentional leak creates a huge wave of hype in the brick world. Behind all that is clearly a carefully planned, textbook-level PR stunt. In stark contrast to that is how careless they were when designing some of the structures. The whole transmission design is basically the same as set 42115. Comparing the two is like comparing Superman and Clark Kent with his glasses on. Perhaps it is because the design is too good and too classic to be surpassed. But the gearing issue, how could you make such a mistake when copying your own homework which scored 100 last time? Even though these two sets are from the same designer, we all know that in mock world, top builders like Bruno, T-Lego, Nico71, and Lox, they rarely use their old designs when they release a new build, but rather putting out new designs by keep innovating, breaking the existing limitations, and exploring the endless possibilities. Where did Lego's spirit and soul of their design go? If Lego continue to work like this in a long term, the great designs that will blow us away will only come from mock builders. Then Lego will find themselves end up only able to lead the design trend by relying on coming up with new parts. Then there's the missing steps on the manual for the 2 panels that goes onto the rear of the car. From that, we can more or less see the problem with Lego. So, do you think Lego should be criticized? Please let us know in the comments. Beside all that, we also don't see any clear signs of modular design on this set. The building experience isn't bad, but it's basically just keeping adding parts and small modules onto the main frame, without having any clue for a large modular design like the ones we find on Technic sets from other brands. That's the end of this review. We will bring you a comparison video of 1:8 scale supercar early next month. Please subscribe if you would want to see that video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Hit that like button if you enjoy this video, and let us know in the comments which set you want to see us review. Until then, see you next time.